Because of all the places that best capture the Twin Cities past, no building equaled the grandest, the biggest, the most spectacular building of its time, the Metropolitan Building. The Metropolitan Building overlooked this beautiful pavilion, which stood at the heart of the Gateway District. The ambitious Gateway Pavilion at Hennepin and Washington Avenues was the city's first attempt at urban renewal as it tried to reverse the decline of the district, stave off the gin joints and the flop houses. This noble effort at salvation would fail, and the Met, just blocks away, would become the victim.
Now, when the debate over the Met began to develop in the late 1950s, there were plenty of people who were saying, let's just tear this thing down. It's old, it's ugly, it's not really serving any purpose. The owners of the Sheraton, the new Sheraton Hotel that was being built nearby, said they couldn't possibly have a building that was so old, so ugly, like the Metropolitan Building, near their elegant new structure. I should mention that the Sheraton Ritz Hotel has since been demolished after 27 years of undistinguished life. The reason why the Metropolitan Building disappeared has to do with a number of things, but it was basically a victim of age, politics, and perhaps more than anything else, ideology. The Metropolitan Building was in an area of Minneapolis known as the Gateway District, and that entire part of the city, about 40% of the downtown, was slated for destruction in the late 1950s and early 1960s as part of the Gateway Urban Renewal Plan. It was a form of urban clear-cutting. It was the equivalent of what happened to the great pine forests in northern Minnesota at the turn of the century. Nothing was saved. Everything was taken down. The Metropolitan Building, being in that district, really didn't have much of a chance to survive once the decision had been made to clear out that entire area. And there were indeed some buildings in that district that needed to be taken down, that were very old and very dangerous, that were flop houses. But instead of being very selective about what you did, instead of hanging on to the good stuff and getting rid of the old bad stuff, they simply tore down everything. When the Metropolitan Building debate developed, there were also, fortunately, a number of people, some architects, some historians, and many plain, ordinary folks who fought to keep the building standing. They said, look, this is a gorgeous building, it's part of our heritage. Why do you have to tear this down? The building is occupied, it's not in any structural danger of falling down. But those arguments simply didn't prevail. I think the ideology of the time, the ideology of modernism, of newness, of making something else out of the Gateway was so powerful, and the real estate interests involved were so powerful, that the Metropolitan really didn't have a chance.
On December 15th, 1961, the day before the wrecking crews arrived, a reporter interviewed Wally Morotsky, who for 20 years had been the Met's janitor. Wally said he wouldn't be there tomorrow. I'm not going to watch him rip it down, he said. Then Wally became something of a prophet. He said, future generations are going to read about this building, and they'll damn us, they will, for tearing down the Met.